Inner strength is not something you're born with. It's not handed to you. It's not inherited. It doesn't show up on its own. Inner strength is built. Like muscle, it's forged under pressure, under stress, under hardship. It grows when you push yourself past your limits, when you face the pain and keep going anyway. People look at those with strength and think, they were always like that. And no, they weren't. They built it. They earned it. They paid for it in blood, sweat, and sacrifice. The process, it's not glamorous. It's not easy. It's a grind, day in and day out. It's the choice to get up when the alarm hits at 4:30 a.m. It's the choice to work when no one's watching. It's the decision to say no to distractions, to comfort, to excuses. It's the choice to take responsibility not just when things go right, but when everything falls apart. Strength is built in the dark, when you feel like giving up, when you feel broken, when you have nothing left but you keep pushing. That's where it's born. Every setback, every failure, every disappointment, it's fuel. It's an opportunity to harden yourself. Most people run from pain. They hide, they numb themselves, but not you. You confront it. You look it in the face and say, good, let's go. That's how strength is built, through resistance. You don't get stronger lifting feathers. You get stronger lifting weight, and life throws weight at you every day. Pressure, challenges, loss, fear, that's the weight. You lift it or you let it crush you. Those are the only options. When life punches you in the face, inner strength is what makes you stand back up. It's not about bravado or fake toughness. It's not about pretending things don't hurt. It's about moving forward despite the hurt. It's about staring down doubt and pushing through anyway, and that comes from choosing the hard path every day. Strength grows when you take ownership, when you step up and say, this is mine, I'll handle it. Weakness comes from avoiding responsibility. Strength comes from owning everything. No one can build it for you. No one can give it to you. You've got to earn it brick by brick, through discipline, through sacrifice, through pain. Every time you do the hard thing instead of the easy one, you're stacking bricks. Every time you face fear, you're stacking bricks. Every time you fight the inner voice that says quit, and you say no, and keep moving forward, you're stacking bricks. And over time, that becomes a fortress. A fortress built from your own effort, your own pain, your own growth. That is inner strength, and it is built. Discipline is the root of all strength. Not talent, not luck, not motivation. Discipline. Without it, nothing holds. Without it, your goals are fantasies, your dreams are dust. Discipline is the structure, it's the foundation. It's the force that gets you out of bed before the sun rises. It's the voice in your head that says, do it anyway, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline isn't about how you feel, it's about what you do. And that's why it's stronger than emotion. Emotions change, discipline doesn't. You can't rely on feeling ready. You won't always be inspired. You won't always be motivated. But if you are disciplined, it won't matter. You'll show up anyway, and that consistency, that daily action, that is what builds strength. Every rep, every early morning, every clean meal, every task you complete when it would have been easier to make excuses, those are deposits into your mental bank. And eventually, that account builds into power, into control, into strength that doesn't break under pressure. Discipline is about doing what needs to be done every day. No exceptions, no excuses. When it's cold, when it's raining, when you're tired, you get up, you move, you execute, and over time something changes. You don't need to convince yourself anymore. You become the kind of person who just does. That identity is forged through repetition, through showing up on the hard days, especially the hard days. That's where discipline separates the strong from the weak. Strength doesn't come from comfort. It comes from resistance, from tension, from making the hard choices. And those choices aren't one-time decisions. They're daily, hourly, sometimes minute by minute. That's where discipline lives. In the small, silent moments where no one is watching, and you still do what's right. You still do what needs to be done. That's power. That's real strength. It's easy to say you want greatness. It's harder to live it. It's harder to put in the work every single day, regardless of circumstances. But that's what discipline demands. And in return, it gives you control over your body, your mind, your time, your destiny. When you're disciplined, you don't wait for the perfect time. You don't need permission. You act, you move, you create progress while others are still talking about it. Discipline is not punishment, it's freedom. It frees you from weakness, from doubt, from regret. When you live with discipline, you don't fear challenges, you seek them, because you know you can handle them. You've trained for them. You've bled for them. Discipline has built the strength you carry into every fight, every moment, every test. You want power, you want grit, you want to lead, then you need discipline. Because discipline is where strength begins. Comfort is the enemy. It whispers lies to you, tells you to rest when you should be working, tells you to stop when you should keep going. It's the seductive voice that says you've done enough, when deep down you know you haven't. Comfort is the trap that steals your potential, and the more you give into it, the weaker you get. The truth is, the more you chase comfort, the further you get from greatness. Because nothing great was ever built in comfort. Growth demands pain, it demands pressure, it demands discomfort. Comfort doesn't make you sharper, it makes you dull, soft, weak. It lulls you into thinking everything is fine when it's not. It convinces you that tomorrow is good enough. But tomorrow becomes next week becomes next year, and before you know it, you've wasted time, you've missed opportunities, you've let your edge fade. Warriors are not born in comfort. They are made in discomfort, through the struggle, through the pain, through the daily grind that most people avoid. You want to be better, get uncomfortable. You want discipline, put yourself in situations that demand it. That force you to resist the easy way. You don't get stronger by doing what's easy. You get stronger by doing what hurts, what stretches you, what breaks you down so you can build back better. That's the process. That's the way. Comfort kills that process. Every time you take the easy way, you lose a piece of yourself. You tell your mind that quitting is okay. You teach your body to give in. But every time you choose the hard road, every cold morning you step outside and run anyway. Every workout you finish when your muscles scream. Every task you grind through, when you're tired you take power back. You reclaim strength. You send a message to yourself that you are in control, not your feelings, not your cravings, not the weakness that lurks inside every one of us. The more comfortable your life becomes, the more dangerous it is to your purpose. Because comfort creates complacency, and complacency is the beginning of decay. If you're not pushing forward, you're falling behind. If you're not testing yourself, you're softening. And in this world, in this battle, there's no room for soft. Not if you want to lead, not if you want to win. Get used to the discomfort, make it your ally, because the ones who embrace the suck, who live in the grind, who welcome the struggle, they're the ones who rise. They're the ones who win. You want to be one of them, then stop chasing comfort. Start chasing challenge. That's where growth lives. That's where strength is born. Comfort is the enemy, and if you want to win, you need to kill the enemy every single day. You don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your training. That's the truth, whether you like it or not. When the pressure's on, when the stress hits, when everything's falling apart, you don't suddenly become better than you are. You don't magically level up in the moment. You revert to what you've practiced, to what you've prepared for, to what you've repeated again and again. That's why training matters. That's why discipline in the dark matters, because when the lights come on, there's no time to think. Only time to execute. People want to believe they'll be ready when it counts. But if you haven't trained for it, you're not ready. Hope is not a strategy. Wishing doesn't make you sharp. You train, you grind. You put in the work before the crisis. You build habits, routines, mental toughness, so when the storm hits, you can stay calm, focused, effective. That's what separates those who break from those who bend but don't snap. Training isn't just about physical reps. It's mindset, it's emotional control, it's decision-making under fire. Every time you choose to cut corners, every time you skip the hard thing, you're building weakness. You're setting yourself up to fail when it counts, because when stress floods your system, you don't have time to think. You act, and how you act is based on what you've drilled. Chaos exposes your true preparation. It exposes your standards, and if your standards are low, the outcome will be too. This is why elite performers train obsessively. Not because they love the grind all the time, but because they understand the stakes. They know when the world is watching, or when lives are on the line, there's no margin for error. It's why warriors train every day, why leaders rehearse worst-case scenarios, why the disciplined keep showing up when no one's clapping. Because they know when things get real, there's no rising, only falling to the level of what you've trained for. So if you want to perform under pressure, if you want to be ready when it counts, then you better start now. Start building the habits that will hold under pressure. Start reinforcing the standards that won't crack under weight. Train your body, train your mind, train your discipline, because when it's time to deliver, you won't get more than what you've earned. You'll fall to your level of preparation, and if that level is high, you'll hold the line. If that level is weak, you'll fold. This is the cost of performance. You don't get to choose the moment, but you do get to choose how ready you are when it arrives. So prepare, over-prepare, build yourself into someone who can be counted on not when it's easy, but when it's chaos, because that's when it really matters, and that's when your training will either save you or betray you. Your mind quits before your body. That's the battle most people never even realize they're fighting. The body is capable of enduring far more than you think. Pain, fatigue, resistance, your muscles can take it. Your lungs can take it. Your bones can take it. But your mind, that's where the quit starts. That's where the weakness begins to speak. That's where the excuses are born. And if you're not trained, if your mind isn't hardened, it will talk you out of everything you were built to do. When you hit that wall, when everything inside you screams stop, it's not your body giving up. It's your mind trying to protect you. It's your brain defaulting to comfort, to safety, to survival. But comfort isn't the goal. Survival isn't the standard. Winning is. Dominating is. And to do that, you have to override the quit. You have to tell your mind who's in charge. You have to take control of that internal dialogue and crush the voice that says you can't. Your body can go longer. It can push further. It can carry the weight, but it needs a mind that won't give in. That's what separates the strong from the weak. The weak let their feelings run the show. The strong shut those feelings down and replace them with action. Discipline, willpower, grit, because they know the truth. Pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. And the cost of quitting isn't just the workout or the task or the day. It's who you become. You build a pattern, you teach yourself to fold, and once that becomes your habit, it spreads into everything. You need to train your mind like a weapon, sharpen it daily, put it through tests, throw it into cold, into hunger, into struggle. Get used to being uncomfortable and still performing, still pushing, still executing. That's the only way to build mental toughness, by facing the urge to quit and defeating it over and over again. And every time you do, your mind gets stronger. You prove to yourself that you're not at the mercy of feelings. You prove that you are in command. There's always more in the tank. You just have to dig for it. Pain is part of the process. Doubt is part of the path. But if you keep moving forward, step by step, rep by rep, breath by breath, you'll see the truth. That limit, that breaking point, it wasn't real. It was a lie your mind told you, and you had the power to push through it the whole time. So when the voice in your head starts to whisper you're done, answer back with action. Keep moving, keep working, keep fighting, because the mind may try to quit, but the body still has more. And if you learn to master that moment, if you learn to dominate your mind, you'll uncover the power that most people never touch. You'll become dangerous, you'll become relentless, you'll become unbreakable. Every day is a test. From the second you wake up to the moment your head hits the pillow, you are being tested. The world doesn't care about your feelings, your fatigue, your reasons, or your story. It cares about one thing. Did you show up? Did you do the work? Did you pass the test today? That's the standard, that's the measure. You're either moving forward or you're falling behind. There's no neutral. There's no pause button. Every day counts, and every day adds up. You don't get stronger by talking about it. You get stronger by showing up, by facing the grind, by proving to yourself that you can do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. Those days, the hard ones, are the real tests. That's when it matters, because it's easy to train when you're motivated. It's easy to eat clean when you're full of energy. But when you're tired, stressed, angry, hurting, and you still choose to do the right thing, that's the test. And if you pass it, that's what builds strength. Every morning, the alarm rings. That's test number one. Do you get up, or do you hit snooze and start the day behind? You face distractions. Do you stay locked in or give in to comfort? You feel pain. Do you push through or fold? You have goals. Do you chase them or make excuses? These questions come up constantly. That's the test, and no one's grading you. No one's handing out rewards. The only person who knows the truth is you. That reflection in the mirror, that's who you answer to. It's not about being perfect. You'll have off days, you'll make mistakes, but what matters is the pattern you build. Are you the type of person who faces the test or the type who avoids it? Are you someone who meets challenges head on or someone who hides from them? Because every test you pass makes you stronger. Every one you dodge makes you weaker. The beauty is that every day is a new opportunity. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You just need action. You lace up the boots. You clock in. You put in the reps physically, mentally, emotionally. You stay focused. You stay sharp. You keep showing up. And little by little, day by day, you separate yourself from the average, from the weak, from the soft. You become the type of person people can count on, not because you talk tough, but because you live it. You don't rise by chance, you rise by choice, and you make that choice every day. So when the sun comes up tomorrow, be ready. Because the test is coming and your results depend on what you do next. Show up, do the work, pass the test, again and again and again. That's how warriors are made. Excuses are lies, period. They sound good in the moment. They feel safe, they protect your ego, but at the core, they are nothing more than lies you tell yourself to justify quitting, to justify laziness, to justify fear. Every excuse is a barrier between you and your potential. And the longer you entertain them, the further you get from the life you want. The harder the truth becomes to face. But here's the truth. You are responsible for your choices, for your effort, for your results. No one else, not the weather, not your boss, not your past. You didn't have time. Lie, you didn't feel ready. Lie, you were too tired. Lie, you were too busy. Lie, you made a choice and instead of owning it, you wrapped it in an excuse. But deep down you knew you could have pushed. You knew you could have stayed disciplined. You knew you could have shown up, but you didn't. And the excuse gave you an escape. It gave you a way out. But at what cost? Your progress, your integrity, your standard. Excuses are the comfort food of failure. They make it easy to stay average. They allow you to sleep at night, but they steal your dreams in the long run. Because every time you make one, you weaken your character. You build the habit of quitting, of blaming, of avoiding responsibility. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. Until one day you don't even realize you're doing it. You've convinced yourself that the lie is the truth, and that's when you lose. You have to call yourself out, brutally, honestly, because no one else will. Most people will accept your excuses because they're making their own. They don't want to make you feel bad for quitting because they're quitting too. But if you want to rise, you can't live in that world. You have to destroy the excuses, hunt them down, expose them for what they are. Because every excuse you kill is another piece of power you take back. Power over your life, power over your mind, power over your potential. This doesn't mean you won't face real challenges, you will. Life is hard, it will test you, it will knock you down, but even then you still choose how you respond. You either rise or you justify why you didn't. You either act or you make an excuse, that's it. There is no in between, and the ones who achieve, the ones who lead, the ones who win, they reject excuses, they accept the pain, they embrace the responsibility, and they do what needs to be done every single time. So if you want to be great, there's no room for lies, no space for justifications. You either get it done or you don't, and if you don't own it, fix it, move forward, but don't ever lie to yourself. Excuses are lies, period. Be the example. Lead yourself first. Before you can lead others, you have to master yourself. That means holding yourself accountable, setting the standard high and living by it every day, no matter what. Leadership isn't about titles or authority. It's about action. It's about integrity. It's about doing the work when no one is watching and setting the bar so high that others have no choice but to follow. If you can't lead yourself, how can you expect to lead anyone else? Leadership starts with discipline. It starts with taking control of your mind and body, commanding yourself to show up, to do what's hard, to resist shortcuts and excuses. When you lead yourself well, you build trust with yourself. You prove that you're reliable, consistent, and committed. That trust is the foundation of true leadership, because if you can't trust yourself, how can others? How can they believe in you? How can they follow your example? Being the example means living your values, not just talking about them. It means pushing through discomfort while others quit. It means waking up early, training hard, and carrying yourself with purpose. It means owning your mistakes, learning from failure, and constantly striving to improve. People don't follow words, they follow actions, and your actions have to speak louder than anything you say. Leading yourself first also means setting boundaries and priorities. It means saying no to distractions, no to what's easy, no to the things that don't align with your goals. It means controlling your emotions, managing your time, and being relentless in your pursuit of excellence. When you do this, you create a standard not just for yourself but for everyone around you. You raise the bar. You make it clear what it takes to be part of your team, your circle, your mission. Leadership is contagious. When you lead yourself with strength and discipline, you inspire others to do the same. You create a culture of accountability and effort. People see your example and start pushing harder, digging deeper, refusing to settle for mediocrity. That's how movements are born. That's how teams become unstoppable. It all starts with one person who refuses to slack off, who refuses to quit, who refuses to let their standards slip. So if you want to lead, start with yourself. Don't wait for permission or recognition. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Step up right now. Take ownership of your habits, your mindset, your actions. Be relentless in holding yourself to a higher standard. Because leadership isn't about being the boss, it's about being the example. And when you lead yourself first, you become a force others want to follow in work, in battle, in life.